Hey, what is up YouTube? Angry Eradicate here. Today for our Monday analysis video, we have yet again another Monday Monotype team. This week our type is Dragon. I was a little skeptical at first about making a Dragon type team. They, at least in my opinion, I didn't view them as a top tier type. I view them as like a bottom 5 type, right down there with Ghost and Rock and Ice, types that are generally pretty bad. But it turned out to be really great. It was a really hyper offensive team, as you'll see here. Choice Scarf Hydreigon, Choice Scarf Latios, Icium Z, Kyurem-Black. Dragonite has a weakness policy set, Garchomp Rocky Helmet set, and this Goodra Assault Vest set. The Goodra and Garchomp are obviously my walls, and I have 4 kind of high-powered sweepers. And the team has a little bit of bulk with stuff like Kyurem-Black, Garchomp, and Goodra. But even like stuff like Dragon, even with the Multiscale, he's not that bulky. Up first, we have Hydreigon Choice Scarf set. So with Hydreigon and Monotype, it's usually like when you have the moves like Dark Pulse, Dark Pulse and Fire Blast. Usually that's able to like sweep through a whole team. Like you look at Ghost type teams. Besides the Mimikyu, Dark Pulse is going to obliterate just about anything on Dark, or anything on Ghost. Obviously, look at stuff like Draco Meteor against like Dragon type stuff. I think it's like against most types that aren't Steel. Draco Meteor is going to put a huge dent in just about any team. Other than that, U-turn is great for momentum. This is like the usual like lead for this team is with U-turn, and you'll if you don't have a good matchup or you like think they'll switch in something else, you can U-turn and get some free momentum. This team needs it desperately with how offensive it is, and you don't want to be Garchomp and Goodra, while decent walls, aren't like top tier walls where you can like switch them in a lot against attacks. So if you can U-turn out and get a nice predict, that's gonna help a lot more because you can't really bring in Garchomp 8 times a match like you could with a Chansey or Slowbro or even like cradling and stuff like that. They have a lot better chances of being able to be brought in. The fact that Garchomp has no recovery as well as Goodra as well makes this team kind of have like a timer. Like after so many turns, you're just going to be out of HP. But for Hydreigon, Fire Blast, you'll see a lot of fire coverage on this team, and it's pretty well warranted. Bug type teams, grass type teams, steel type teams are all pretty strong right now, and it just gives you a lot of good coverage against things that your stab isn't good against with steel. Yeah, that's pretty much my explanation for him. I go with an special attack nature here. He's still fast enough afterwards. It does cost me to fight against an Excadrill. If I was speed nature, I would have won, but it is what it is. You just trade offs with anything. Latios here, Choice Scarf. You might be thinking Defog on Choice Scarf, kind of weird. You just need that extra speed element. This is your speed control. I even run speed nature on this thing. You just need to be able to, this thing can outspeed just about anything because it's 110 with the nature and Choice Scarf. Stuff like Choice Scarf Greninja will obviously outspeed it, but like if you're not running like a Choice Specs Greninja, it's not going to hit as hard. So most people do run that. Draco Meteor, Hidden Power Fire, Defog, and Psychic. Pretty good coverage moves there. Psychic actually is pretty good. I hit that a lot actually, more than I hit anything else. Hidden Power Fire is actually kind of weak, especially since you have more fire coverage. You can switch that out for something like a Surf. You can switch out for a Thunderbolt if you want some extra coverage. I think you can go Roost as well, right? Yeah, but you don't want to run 2 moves like that on a Choice Scarf set. But there's some other options. You run the Calm Mind set if you want to switch out for that. He gets access to Energy Ball. See what else. Also Memento. Memento is pretty big. Even with the Dragonite, get a free chance to set up. I've seen that, not when using this team, but I've seen. Come on. Oh, cannot spell today. Empower Fire. Alright, Kyurem-Black. This thing's a big beast of a thing right here. Icium Z, Free Stock becomes Sludge, obviously Sub-Zero Sledgehammer. That base 140 ends up being base 220 after the Icium Z boost. That stab's it's gonna basically one-shot anything that's not like quad resist. Even some things that resist it will still break through after Stealth Rocks and kill. Even stuff like Outrage and Fusion Bolt without a Life Orb still do a good bit of damage because look at his attack stat, 170. I also run a attack nature just to pump as much damage as possible. This is your wall breaker, while Hydreigon and Latios are more of your revenge killers and late game sweepers along with Dragonite. But I also run Roost in this thing to kind of help keep it alive a little bit. You can also, instead of an Icium Z, you would get rid of Free Shock or something like Ice Beam, then run a mix set. That's also the nice thing about this is you can run a full attack invested set. Like a lot of people will have to split between attack and special attack because they want to run Ice Beam or Thunderbolt or Draco Meteor instead. The problem is, you see that 170 base attack, I want to take advantage of that. I don't want to be wasting it on his base 120 special attack when you have access to 170 base attack with some nice attack moves. Dragonite here, a little bit of controversy. A lot of people recommend Choice Band set. I can definitely see that. It's pretty good as well. But Dragonite with weakness policy is still pretty nice, especially in a monotype fight where if you're fighting someone like an ice type team, you're almost guaranteed to get your weakness policy off. You're fighting stuff like a rock type team, you're almost guaranteed to get your rocks off. Pretty much you have to have Latios if you're running Dragonite because Latios is like the only major defog user besides maybe defensive set Salamence, which is kind of weird to run. Salamence isn't as good as I think he could be. If he had Mega, it'd be broken. Dragon would be top tier, in my opinion, but I think a lot of people would agree with that. That's why I got banned so quick. But Dragon Dance, Outrage, Earthquake, and Extreme Speed. Extreme Speed I checked out a lot because it's +2 priority. You can outspeed a lot of things. I try to revenge kill Dragonite, Outrage, and then obviously I think instead of Earthquake I'd probably run Fire Punch because a lot of times like Steel type teams like Scizor has walled this out a few times. Like I was like one Pokemon away from having the sweep set up, and a Scizor kind of ruins it. If I had Fire Punch, would have been able to win then. I run Attack Nature on him as well. Probably could run Speed because when your weakness policy goes off you do get +2. However, it helps with Extreme Speed getting kills after only like +1. Alright, Garchomp, the Rocky Helmet set. We just had an analysis video. I just made an analysis video. I'm not sure if it's up yet or not for Garchomp. Probably not. I don't think he's this week, this past week's. But Stealth Rock, Dragon Tail, Earthquake, Fire Blast. Pretty standard stuff for a Rocky Helmet, Stealth Rock setter. Gives you some nice covers. Like I said, I would honestly run Fire Fang instead because I wouldn't, like, looking back on it, because look, he only has base 80 special attack, and I'm running a minus nature in it. That probably doesn't help either. But what else do you want to subtract from? He needs everything else. He needs his speed. He needs his defenses and attack and HP. You don't want to be costing those. This thing's great against like stuff like Scizor because they switch and they go for the Bullet Punch. They take Rocky Helmet and Rough Skin, and they usually take Life Orb damage if they're like a setup set. So that's super helpful in taking out stuff like Scizor and other physical attackers and multi-hitting people as well. Alright, to round out the set here, Goodra and a Soulfast Sap Sipper set. And not Sap Sipper, you can probably run Gooey if you want to slow down and like kind of threaten some stuff that's trying to set up against you. Well, Draco Meteor, Ice Beam, Thunderbolt, and Sludge Bomb. This thing's actually come up pretty big several times. I run Special Attack Nature in this as well, actually. Assault Vest keeps the special defense high enough. You can run some more special defense if you want more of a dedicated special wall. However, with how offensive Dragon is, I don't think it's worth going with a fully special defensive Goodra. I think the Assault Vest covers special options more than enough. Because 338 times 1.5 will raise you right near 600, so it's not bad. It's not bad at all. That's the team, guys. I think I have like 4 or 5 fights for you guys. I think I ended up going like 9-2, 9-3 with this team. I started off alright, and I ended up winning like 8 of the last 9. So I definitely recommend this team for like hyper offensive people who don't want to be wasting 40 turns in a match. This team usually wins in 20 or it's over, but it's a lot of fun. Let's go check them out. Okay, guys, for our first battle here. If you guys have been playing Monotype at all lately, you've seen it's on suspect testing, so some of these fights are against like lowered. I don't know, I feel like people who play like right now are people who try pretty hard with the suspect testing, but it is some lower rated people as well. This guy obviously isn't a Poople Swipe. He's running a steel type team, kind of an annoying team. It's supposed to be checking Magiarna, he's not even using it, so like I don't know what he's doing there. But we've got Skarmory, Excadrill, Scizor. You would probably assume non-Mega. Non-Mega seems to be better right now in the metagame. Jirachi, Empoleon, and Heatran, obviously Air Balloon. Leads to the Skarmory here. I lead with Hydreigon like usual. You turn out. Luckily, he's not Rocky Helmet. That crit really didn't matter. It wasn't going to do anything anyway. He basically heals out the full regardless. That crit really didn't matter. I set up my own Stealth Rocks. He goes for the counter. And I go for the Fire Blast. We miss it, of course. And that's a little hacks there against us. He goes into Heatran now. And, of course, me being a dummy, I should have went for the Dragon Tail there, predicting that switch in. But he does get the Fire Blast set off. And he goes for the Flamethrower here. It does not 36%. Doesn't burn us, but you know it shouldn't. I miss a Dragon Tail, so we're already getting some super hacks against us here. But, oh, nice motorcycle over there. He goes for the Flamethrower, only does about 16%, even with the Flash Fire boosting against Goodra. I thought he might switch out, so I went for the Ice Beam there. And then I think he does go for a prediction here into Empoleon. Yeah, he does. He doesn't want to waste off his Heatran. He thinks his Empoleon's more worthwhile to sack off. Do about 50% with that. We end up being faster than the Empoleon, which is great. We take that out early game with Goodra. So Goodra already putting in some work. Goes into his Excadrill here. I'm kind of like, okay, we can kind of sack this off. Looking at his team, he doesn't have any other special sweepers. So that's the nice thing about your 2 walls. You can kind of sack it off to get a better switch in. Going to Latios here and Hidden Power. I probably should have went for the Defog because for the Iron Head. Takes it down about 28%. And then he switches back in the Heatran here. I'm like, oh my gosh, come on. And kind of an issue being Twist Scarf. You kind of get stuck in moves like that. I didn't want to switch into Excadrill with anything. I go into Garchomp. He gets taken down to 11% and burns, of course. So there's some more hacks against us. You can just see in this fight. We're trying our best. We're not doing too bad. It's already a terrible matchup with the stabs, obviously. Stuff like Heatran's pretty annoying to deal with. Scizor is super strong. Steel just in general has so many strong Pokemon. Like most types have 3 or 4 Pokemon that are just like strong, and then a few things that are like not as strong. But Steel, there's like 10 things that I would consider like S tier or A tier. It's like ridiculous. Like Dragon, there's only like 3 or 4 S tiers, and then A tier has like 1 or 2 things. And then you're kind of stuck with other options if you want to run the only the top tier stuff. Steel has so many more options. It's such a deep type. Dark Pulse here is able to take out a Skarmory, kind of sacks that off. However, he's in a pretty good spot here, up in a 4-3 lead. He has Scizor. I don't have any of my fire type options besides Hydreigon. and I was obviously locked in my Dark Pulse there. Goes for the knockoff there, knocks off my item with Dragonite. Go for the Earthquake here, does about 75%. He goes for the Swords Dance, which I'm like, okay, that gives us a good chance. So he makes a misplay there, able to take out a Scizor. However, he does go into his Excadrill, and which is just really surprised me. I was surprised that didn't kill. Extreme Speed just doesn't take him out, and he's a Choice Scarf Excadrill, so he would have been faster there anyway. Going to Hydreigon, he outspeeds me there on that. Going to Kyurem-Black, and he just goes for the Iron Head and takes out about 29%. Go for our Z move. I had to actually go for the Sub-Zero Hammer because I don't want to Outrage. I thought maybe we could still have a chance if we outspeed his Heatran. Go for the Fusion Bolt, take that out. But then during this whole video, I guess you can't tell, but he was taking so long on each turn. He was going to like 120 seconds, 90 seconds every single time. And I'm like, dude, just win the game. You have your Choice Scarf Jirachi here. You usually see more of like a defensive team oriented around Steel with 1 or 2 sweepers, usually Magiarn and Scizor, but this guy had more of an offensive one, so good to him. Did get some like terrible hacks in the beginning. If I got any of those, I think I might have had a good chance of winning. Any of the 3 things, like not having Flamethrower Burn, not missing 2 attacks, any of those would have been great. But you know, it happens. This was like one of my first few fights. I was pretty happy with how I did with hacks against me in the bad type matchup. Alright, for our second fight here against King Fam, he has a Volcarona. He has a bug type team, first of all. He has a Volcarona, Vikavolt. You would assume Mega Beedrill, obviously. What is that thing called? Yamega, Armaldo, and Scizor. Bug types are pretty annoying to deal with, especially since Hydreigon kind of gets beaten down pretty easily by some stuff you'll see here. I was surprised at how bulky the Vikavolt was. I go right here for the Fire Blast, turn 1. Only has about half his health. I thought at least like 80%. Then his Bug Buzz takes me out one hit. Like, these things aren't that strong, are they? Unless he's like Choice Scarf or something, Choice Specs or something. But he's not, because he goes for the Hidden Power here. Maybe he's Expert Belt. That's what I'm thinking. That or like a berry or something like that. I don't know what berry you would run on Vikavolt though. Going to Kyurem-Black here. Switches into his Armaldo, I guess, to try to Rapid Spin. I go for the Z move here, thinking he might switch into that. He might switch into Volcarona. It would still do amazing damage even if it's resisted. And obviously he'll take that out. That takes out his Rapid Spin user. So now a lot of his bugs are going to be damaged down a lot. So he's in a really bad spot. I put him in that bad spot right off the bat. Goes for the Bullet Punch against Kyurem-Black. And we're lucky. He's Life Orb takes him on 29%. I can go into Garchomp. He has to attack me here. And then the combination of Rough Skin and Rocky Helmet will take out a Scizor. And that's kind of game already. Because just with the Stealth Rock damage and having Choice Scarf Latios and Dragonite with E-Speed, I can kind of just break down his whole team. He goes into Volcarona here. Something about half health. I actually go for the Extreme Speed. It takes it out. But luckily, we don't get burned. That's like the first time it's ever happened where I physically hit a Volcarona. It doesn't take it out. But as you guys can see here, we took out his Rapid Spin user on the switch-in. Had a nice predict on that. And we went for the Sub-Zero Slammer to take out his Armaldo so he couldn't Rapid Spin. And now his whole team kind of is dead because he's nothing to really break through my team. Wasn't too worried about this thing. They don't carry Hidden Power Ice. They only carry like Ice, Air Slash, Roost, Bug Buzz, and then Protect to get their speed up, obviously. And that's game there. So that's a nice 3-0. Pretty easy victory once we took out their Rapid Spin user. That's kind of the problem with Bug, though. When you're fighting a Bug type team, take out their Rapid Spin user, their Defog user, and have Stealth Rock set up, because then you win. Alright, up next we have a Dragon versus Dragon, a Ditto matchup, as I like to call it. He's a Wheatstone Sam has a Tortinar, Garchomp, Latios, Goodra, Kyurem-Black, and a Como-O. I haven't really seen too much about Como-O, so I wasn't that worried about it because I thought I saw it more be better. He actually has a Focus Sash Garchomp with Swords Dance lead, which was high risk here, but luckily we're Choice Scarf Hydreigon when we hit both of the Draco Meteors, which is key there, and take him out. That was kind of a weird lead. You want to save the Swords Dance set till the end. I guess maybe he thought I get a nice predict in the beginning. I don't know what he was thinking I would send out first. Maybe he thought I wasn't Choice Scarf. But we're looking at some nice damage off the Latios before that. We get a free chance here to take advantage of Weakness Policy. I ended up going for a Dragon Dance here because I thought, okay, there's no way he's going to kill me this turn as long as he didn't crit. Even if he critted, it wouldn't have killed. Actually, I think it would have. Yeah, it would have killed with the crit damage on top of the fact that his special attack wouldn't have been halved. Extreme Speed did a lot less than I thought there. At plus 2.5, I thought it would kill. Obviously, him outraging and critting me there doesn't matter. We can go to our Latios though here, and we're Choice Scarf. We're outspeeding most of his team. Get a nice kill there. Goes into his Tortinar, and he tries to Shell Smash and Latios. I guess he didn't think I was Choice Scarf. That's the nice thing about Dragon, having 2 Choice Scarf users. They might think, oh, there's their one Choice Scarf user, they won't have another one. And especially on Latios. People see Choice Scarf Hydreigon a lot, but having it on Latios is a nice surprise factor. We can sack off Garchomp here. Again, I'm not too worried about the Como-O because I have Latios. Just in case the Psychic to be super effective against it. And against Gluttony, I can do good damage with that. And my own Goodra, after it's weakened, will win 1v1. Sub-Zero Slammer takes it out one hit. I thought maybe he switched into his Como-O here, but he goes to the Dragon Claw, because about half health, and we just outrage and take him out. because that's a pretty easy win against Dragon v Dragon matchup. So you can see this team does well against itself. It's pretty strong. I'm using a lot of like top tier stuff in Dragon because that's some of the lower tier stuff. I'm not gonna run a Druddigon. Who wants to run a Druddigon on a Dragon type team? Kingdra's another just like weaker option with Flash Cannon and whatnot for dealing with more fairies if you want to run that. Other options, Salamence obviously can be more of a defensive set or an offensive set, like a Revenge Killer with Moxie. I'd probably replace not Latios, you kind of need the wrap. You need a Defog user. But if you're going to run Defog on Salamence, you can replace Latios. But if I was going to replace anybody, you can replace Goodra with Dragalge. That also deals with fairy type teams a little bit better. With it also runs Assault Vest, that's another option. If you guys are looking for other options, Salamence, Dragalge instead of that, or those are the two I'd probably stick to. For our second to last fight here against Groomers, they have a Ghost type team, one of the weaker type teams if you ask me. It's only a good matchup against Psychic, one of the top type teams, but I don't think it's worthwhile to bring just for one matchup. Obviously Mega Bayonet there, you would assume, because you can't run Mega Gengar. Confaguris, Gengar, Hoopa, Delmise, and Doublade. So Doublade's kind of a surprise factor there. You don't see that too often anymore. Back in X and Y, you would see it a lot more often, or even Oros. For the lead, I wasn't really too sure. They have a lot of different lead options. I think Confaguris is not a bad option. Bayonet, well, I think it has Fake Out, so it's always a good option. And even something like Gengar is not terrible with a Focus Sash Suicide lead. Leads with Confaguris here. I got a nice Dark Pulse. See, Dark Pulse is able to just truck through his whole team. There's not much he can really do. Tries to set up Toxic Spikes on me. I have Latios with Defog, so I'm not worried about that at all. Goes into his Gengar here. We get a nice crit. That does not matter at all. I also kind of surprised he wasn't Focus Sash. Probably Choice Scarf as well without speed or something. And he just forfeits. I don't really know why he did. I guess I kind of do, because I could switch out Hydreigon to Latios and get a nice free chance to Defog, and then Hydreigon continues sweeping through his whole team. You have to run, if you're running Ghost type, you have to run Pyukumuku. It's a terrible, not Pyukumuku, Mimikyu. It's your only thing that can counter Hydreigon. So if you're running a Dark and Dragon type team, run Hydreigon and run something to counter Mimikyu, and you beat pretty much all Ghost type teams. It's an easy matchup though, so you don't have to plan too much around beating Ghost. Alright, and for our last fight here against, let me switch the side right here real quick. Inappropriate name. Let me reset this. I don't know why it's starting. They have a Bug-type team, Heracross, Shuckle. You'd probably assume Mega. I prefer running Choice Scarf personally because they don't have another Choice Scarf user on their team. But Shuckle, Volcarona, Gallespod, Scizor, and Scolipede. Pretty offensive Bug-type team. That's usually what you see for Bug since it's not a very good defensive type. But obviously Shuckle's a good wall. Usually with Shuckle has a Scolipede actually, and he goes right into Shuckle here. Fire Blast does minimal damage, but it's obviously especially defensive Shuckle, or else it would have done a good amount of damage if he was defense invested. He goes for the Stealth Rock here. We did a free chance to set up with Dragonite. He goes for the Encore here. Kind of annoying, but I was wanting to just kind of stick through with it, and he goes for the Toxic though. I wasn't sure if he had that or not. I thought maybe he had like Infestation, like Sticky Web as well, but that is his last move. I thought maybe he'd have Infestation, but he doesn't. So he has Toxic as his other non-setup move. That goes off, get a nice crit there. Obviously doesn't matter, but we're at +3. We only get 2 more turns to attack here. Go into Scizor, and we go for the extreme speed. It's about half his health only, so it's kind of disappointing. He does take us out with a Bullet Punch, however. Now we can go into Garchomp, or we go into Latios here to hit HP Fire. But I defog, thinking, okay, maybe he might switch out, but he doesn't. He stays in U-turns and takes it out. So that's kind of annoying, but I have other Fire-type moves on like Garchomp and Hydreigon to take care of Scizor, so it's not the end of the world. Go into our Garchomp here against Scolipede. He Swords Dances, and we go for the Stealth Rock here because it's going to do a lot of damage against the rest of his team. He's decently set up. He goes for another Swords Dance. It's a little greedy on his part. I probably should have Dragon Tailed there. I thought maybe he'd attack and I get some nice damage. Fire Blast does hit him pretty hard. He goes for the Earthquake. Only does about half our health because Scolpede's not that strong. He's more meant to bat and pass, but now that that's been taken care of, Scolipede really isn't a viable option in my opinion. The fact that he can't bat and pass, he's just not that strong, like you see against Garchomp. He's able to take out Scizor there with some of the revenge damage, and he was in his Gallespod now. He takes about 25% from the Stealth Rocks, obviously. Aqua Jet takes us out. Now we do waste his Berry here as an emergency exit procs. He gets his Citrus Berry off. He will be switched out and forced to do it again because his Stealth Rock will take him down. So his Gallespod's in a really bad spot. Going to Hydreigon here, and I thought, okay, if he's Choice Scarf, we probably might outspeed it because we're on the same speed. But he's not. He's Mega, so a Fire Blast obviously will take him out. Goes into the Volcarona here. I go into Goodra. So that was actually probably a bad play, simply because Goodra can probably eventually get worn out, but I could probably Revenge Kill with Hydreigon. Actually, no, I couldn't, but I'm not sure if he would ever be able to beat through Goodra. I think if unless he's running Bug Buzz, that might eventually be able to break through Goodra. But if I got a crit on the Draco Meteor, it'd be game over. And if he doesn't have Roost, he'll slowly get worn down by Goodra. I don't think he could beat it in time. And Gallopod's easily able to be beaten by a combination of or probably just by Hydreigon or just by Kyurem-Black. But the combination of the two would definitely be too much for it. It's not that strong of a Pokemon. It's kind of a gimmicky thing with the whole emergency exit. And with Stealth Rocks up, it's not a good thing for it. But that's fight guide for it. That's the last fight I have for you guys. If you have any suggestions for Dragon, I think I kind of had it down pretty pat. I went 9-3 again with this team. It's pretty strong. I definitely recommend it to a lot of people more offensive base. If you're more of a defensive player like I used to be, I'm actually playing a lot more offense than I am now. Like, a lot more offense now than I was playing before. I used to only play a stall and balance team, so I've been playing a lot more offensive, and it's so much more fun. It's so much fun to like press, like not just the press buttons, but like to kind of try to go for the reads, and like you feel more rewarded for it. With stall, you can make a lot of predictions like throughout the whole match, and like 1 or 2 predictions in here, like I can change the whole course of the game. Like against the first bug team, I got that nice Stealth Rock there's Stealth Rock Rapid Spinner, and I was able to knock him out 1 hit. So that's super helpful. But again, if you guys have any suggestions, we can always battle. Come hit me up on Showdown or on YouTube. We can set up a time to battle. Be a lot of fun. And I'll catch you guys next episode. Thank you so much for watching.